Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'll be your teacher today, once again, live from Gloucester. So we'll be having this conversation and let's have a little look at today's question, which is about crying. Quite a sad one, but what makes you cry? So if you look back and think of times when you cried, what is it that makes you cry and why do you cry? So let's start off with Arush. Arush, I would like you to first introduce yourself and to also tell us a bit about your day before you tackle today's question.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Arushka. I study in class 4 at my school name is Republic School. Playing, singing, and dancing.
I can't hear you well. Can you repeat a bit, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't mute yourself because I won't be able to hear you. Can you unmute yourself, Arush?
Yes, ma'am. First I woke up in the morning at 7 o'clock. Then after that I was playing and I took in a shower. Then I played the whole day only because no studies, nothing. And after playing, I went upstairs to play. Then I came home. And LWT classes 6:30 to 7:30.
Okay. And Arush, what makes you cry?
Whenever things don't go to my according, I get angry and emotional. When I get too much emotional, I start to cry and get angry.
Okay, so you just so whenever it's something to do with you getting angry or you not getting your way, you get really frustrated and you cry. Arush?
Yes.
Okay, and why do you think why do these things make you upset? Because we can't all get things as we want them always. So why do you get so upset? Why do you think it makes you cry?
What was the...
Yes, Arush?
What was the question?
So we can't always get things our way. Sometimes we have to accept that we're not always going to get what we want and how we want it. So why do these things make you cry? Why do you cry?
Because when I get emotional too much, I start to cry because sometimes I accept, sometimes I don't accept. Like studies, playing, I accept those because those are important. Like I have to go somewhere, so whenever it doesn't go to my accordingly, so I start to cry and get emotional.
Okay, and do you think what can you do in the future, maybe so you don't cry? What do you think you will do?
Now, what was the question? Please repeat.
What do you think you will do in the future? Do you think you can try and stop yourself from crying, or do you think it's a good thing that you cry?
Crying is not a good thing because like babies and children only cry. So right now I am a child, so I cry slowly. When I will be get bigger, so I will stop crying and stay calm whenever my things will not go accordingly. So I will just ask my friends to do that, so they will accept.
Okay, Okay. And what happens when you cry? When you do cry, who helps you? What happens? Do you do you go to your mum for help? Does or maybe your friend? Do your when you cry?
My mom and dad helps me because whenever I get in a trouble, so my mother and father helps me.
Mhm.
So, so sometimes I also struggle with myself only whenever like lots of big things don't work out accordingly to me. So I just stop studying only from that day sometimes.
Uh-huh. Okay, and what happens? How do they help you? Do they
My mom asks, don't study today, you can play, do
Mhm.
anything you want. And my mom asks also lots of times why are you crying, so sometimes I give the answer, sometimes not.
Okay. And do they stop you from crying?
Yes, ma'am, sometimes they stop. Like they give me any new thing, they have every time any new thing
Uh-huh.
to choose. So whenever I am really angry, so they just take to me a mall. Then after that, I buy some toys over there. So and all my anger, emotional crying, all will
Mhm.
go far away. And
Okay.
my mother sometimes also gives me chocolate, and I'm
Okay.
crying, and snacks also.
Okay, very good. And do you help other people if they are crying? If your sisters are crying, do you help them?
My sister cries, so I just take her in my lap and
Mhm.
just play with her, fly her like this, dancing, playing, making blocks, and etc.
You make jokes. Okay, so you don't like seeing your sisters cry. You try and help them.
Yes, ma'am. Whenever she's crying a lot, so I think let's go downstairs and play. She plays in the slides, swings, and lots of. And she also goes to the park.
Okay. And if you are looking at what makes other people cry. So we said we know what makes you cry. What makes you cry is when you don't get your own way and when things don't happen how you want them. What do you think makes other people cry? What do you
No,
think
I
makes
ask
other
them
people
why
cry?
are you crying, so they tell me the reasons, so I help them.
And why do people usually cry? What makes other people cry?
They have lots of problems, like sometimes
Mhm.
lots of people I see crying, like children also cry, so I just take them to their house or they are lost, so I just take to the police station and ask the police that can you find this child house
Mhm.
because he is lost and I found him and he's just finding his house. So after
Okay.
the police just goes for his job. So after that, sometimes like one time, it has not happened with me like that in my life only. One
Okay.
time I was playing with a baby, so like that baby was very small, like my sister age only, and I was
Mhm.
playing with him with a ball. So after some time, his mother came and take him. So I said him bye bye. We will meet tomorrow. So then tomorrow he didn't came.
Okay, so many people cry for many different reasons. Okay, and you're telling me about babies, how they always cry.
Yes.
Okay, All right. And do you are there any more reasons why people cry? Why do your sisters, for example, cry, or cousins cry? What makes other people cry? Can you give me some examples? I can't hear you, Arush.
Poor people have lots of problems. I help them and take to the police station. So after police reports,
Uh-huh.
they
Yes.
don't have
Yes, okay. I know that you help them, but what makes people cry? What problems make people cry?
their anger situation,
Mm-hmm.
emotional.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. We're getting somewhere. Good. Very good. Thank you very much, Aruj. Let's move on to
Thank you, ma'am.
Sneha. You're welcome. Hi, Sneha. How are you?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good.
Fantastic. Can you introduce yourself, please, and tell us a bit about your day?
My name is Sneha. I'm
Mhm,
studying currently in MNPS. I live
mhm,
in Jamshedpur, a town in Jharkhand. I have to become, or if you can say, like my future goals, I have, and if I wish, I have to become a physiotherapist. I
mhm.
am genuinely an optimistic person, and I'm very passionate about my work. I love to write poems and to click pictures and
Mhm.
all that. I am.
Okay, very good. And what did you do with your day today?
Uh, in morning, I woke up early for my revision as my test is going on. So
Mhm,
I have my breakfast, then I gave my exam, and then I have taken a nap for 30 minutes. Then I
mhm,
get back to my studies. Then I have taken my lunch, and then I again back to my studies for tomorrow's exam.
mhm,
And then I went for my tuitions, and then I
mhm.
attended this class.
Okay, very good. Excellent. And what makes you cry is the question of today. So what makes you cry?
Uh, there are two reasons that make me cry. First is the when I argue with my friends. When I
Uh-huh.
argue when their opinions are not matching with my opinions, and like we have a fight, so like I really cry because I'm in not a good mood whenever I fight with my friends. And the second
Okay.
reason is whenever I watch some emotional movie scenes, then also I cry.
Okay. And why do you think it is? Why do you think the anger makes you cry and the emotional scenes make you cry? What do you think it is?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat?
Okay, what do you think is the reason behind the emotional scenes, for example, making you cry, or 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 when you get angry? Why is your reaction, for example, not to punch something or to throw something? Why is it to cry? Why do you think that is?
Uh, I, uh, why I cry because whenever I am not in a good mood, I am
Mhm,
really feeling down. I'm not in a good mood. Then I cry. Uh,
mhm.
that is the reason I cry whenever I'm not feeling good. I'm not in a good mood. That
You cry. Okay. And what do you, if I could ask you, just because you're older than Arush, so I can going to push you a bit more. Why do you think it's good for us to cry? What is it? Why is it good for us to cry?
yeah, it's good. It's good that we are showing our expressions,
Mhm,
which relieves the heart. We are showing our expression that we are crying. So it's
mhm.
good.
Okay, very good. Um, so you'll be it's a way of expressing and letting your emotions out.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Excellent. And if I could ask about what do you do after you cry? What happens after you cry? Does someone come and help you? Do you help yourself? Do you calm down and work things out? Do you ask for help? Do you get your own way? What happens after you cry?
Like there are many circumstances. Like when I cry for my personal reason, I didn't tell anyone that why I'm crying. Uh, I understand. I keep understanding myself that I must not cry. But if I cry for a reason that I got hurt and anything, I told to my parents. Uh, they they suggest me that not to cry. They
Okay.
suggest me not to cry.
They tell you don't cry. So you think that crying is good because you are letting your emotions go, and your parents are telling you no, don't cry. That's the worst thing you can do. So it's a bit conflicting, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Like it's been a long that I told my parents that I'm crying. It's not good because I didn't feel good that I told my parents that why I'm crying. So in most cases, I don't tell my parents that I am crying.
Okay. So what happens? So you can't tell your parents that you're crying. So what happens after you cry?
Uh, there are many. If for my personal reasons I'm crying, I talk to my friends. I prefer mostly to talk to my friends. I can share that personal things to my friend, which I cannot share with my parents. So they give me suggestions not to cry and all that. They share their experience too. That what did they do, of which I am crying. Yeah, how they can stop me can crying. They tell me their incidents. They tell me their jokes and all that to stop me crying.
Okay, very good. And does it stop you? Does it help?
Yes, ma'am, it's really helpful
Okay.
what they did.
Okay. And can I ask, what situations make you angry? Because you told me when I'm angry, having an argument, getting angry with my friends, or when I watch something on TV. What are the specific situations that really, really make you cry? What kind of psychological things are they? What are they about?
That make me cry.
Mhm.
Uh,
What do you get angry about, for example? What do you get emotional
okay.
about?
Uh, when I got angry when when I am talking and someone interrupts in between and giving his suggestions. So I really
Mhm.
get angry at that time when because if I am speaking, why you are getting in between? Let's complete me first, then you come. So I think it is my biggest weakness also, but I really get irritated and really got angry whenever anyone interrupts me in between.
Okay. Okay, so that's one thing. Anything else that really gets to you?
And the second is like the bad traffic. Whenever I go for my holidays and if there's a traffic, it's really get irritated. I'm really got angry by seeing that all the traffics.
Traffic. Traffic makes gets you angry.
Yes.
Okay, so you get angry and you cry.
Not cry, but I really got frustrated because of the traffic because it takes time and I'm really got irritated about the all the bad traffic.
Okay, very good. Okay, good. And what happens when other people cry? What makes your friends and family cry? What kind of things can you, if you were to think of situations where you've seen your friends or family cry, which situations are these?
Some of my friends and family members also cry when they are in stress. If
Mhm.
if they have a heavy load in their head that uh, how they have to do and they are my sister, they are older sister and brothers. They really I have seen them crying to like what they have to do in their future, what they have to do, how they will earn something for their future. So they
Mhm.
really got cry about their self, and there are many personal reasons also. All the uh, there are many personal reasons, like their if someone gets scolded by their parents, they also cry. If a heavy load of when like some of them are in standard 12, so uh, I have seen them crying that what they have to choose in their career, or they are very stressed up to their studies. They have to do their studies as well as their careers goals they have to choose, and the pressure of the parents to them that what they have to choose, what they have to do. So I have seen them cry.
Very good. And can I ask, how have you helped your friends after you've seen them crying? What have you told your friends? How have you helped them?
I have helped them. Like my friends help me, like to tell jokes. I tell them the jokes, and I told them not to stress up so much. Just to everything will happen in future. It's okay, but they not have to level the stress up so much. Their future on all that.
Okay, very good. And do you know anything now about the psychology of crying itself? Ca- Do you know anything about the psychology of crying itself?
Uh, Psychology of crying.
Yes. Have you ever heard of the psychology of crying, of why we actually cry?
Yes, I have read, but uh, whenever anyone is not feeling good, or anyone is not cannot share anything with
Mhm.
anyone, so I think they cry. They cannot share it. They cannot share their personal things to anyone. So, and it's all that I know. I don't know that much.
Okay, very good. Okay, it's when you're in a tense, pent up situation when you can't share so much. Okay, good. That's already a good one. That's very good. Okay, so since we have a bit of time, I will also ask Arush. Arush, do you know anything about the psychology of crying, of why we cry? Arush, are you there? Arush? No, guess Arush is gone. Um, okay, so since we have a bit of time, I will spend some time um, talking about the psychology of crying itself. Why do we cry? Well, we cry for many reasons, like you said. Some of us cry out of anger, some of us cry out of anger and frustration, or anxieties, or if we're scared. Some of us even cry, funnily enough, after laughing. When you laugh so much, you cry. Um, but the actual tears show others, of course, that we are vulnerable. But it's all very much a neural process, something that happens inside our nervous system. But we cry in response to something, and crying is a release. A release of this energy, and these feelings that we have within ourselves. So crying is good because we are releasing these energies that we have, especially if they are, for example, like aggressive feelings like anger. It's good to release that energy with a good cry. In fact, most people feel much calmer and go to sleep after a good cry. But the mystery of tears as well. Um, well, when we look at tears, tears not only contain water, but they also contain antibodies. They also contain salt, and they also contain enzymes. So there's also a chemistry within tears. And like we said, there are many different reasons why people cry. Of course, they could also be crying from negative effects. And in fact, there was a study conducted to see whether do you cry too much. And however, a study in the 1980s, for example, found that women cry an average of 5.3 times per month, and men cry an average of 1.3 times per month. And a newer study found that the average duration
Ma'am, I
for
have to also add one point
yes,
uh,
absolutely,
that by crying you can get rid of the stress level, and it's
exactly.
yeah, you can get off the stress level, which is very important.
Very good, excellent. That is very good. No, that's exactly the I agree with you completely. It's a way of release and releasing that stress levels. So a good cry, it is good. It is good for you. There are other ways. Some people worry about maybe they are crying too much, and if they feel they are crying too much and they're upset too much, I mean, then we are looking at mental health. We're looking at maybe anxiety and depression. But of course, crying is a normal thing. So let's not all think that we are crying too much here. And if we look at crying, does it make you feel better? Well, it could. Crying is more likely to make you feel better, especially if you have support from friends, like you mentioned, or you're crying because of a positive experience. Some people cry when they're happy. And it helps to understand your emotions and resolve an issue. If we look at a bit about how to manage crying, some people might want to try and manage their tears if they feel like they're crying too much. And the way to do that is to relax muscles, relax your facial muscles. So your expression is neutral, or think about something repetitious that you've memorized, or take a walk, or find
Ma'am,
something to do. Yes.
I have to also say that like most of the people say that women, I think 60% women cry most. I think women
Yeah,
cry most as because it is a reproductive hormone. Like emotional tears are especially high in prolactin, like which could explain why women cry more often than the men.
absolutely, that can definitely be the case as well. um, hormone levels affect how we are, and what we and how we react to things. So yes, definitely, hormones is one of the things that affects crying. But also breathing. If you have relaxed breathing, you can stop crying, or you will not want to cry. But if your breathing is very shallow, you can actually make yourself cry. So these are little things, guys, that I just thought I'd share with you, that I found interesting when I looked at crying and what makes people cry. Um, it's been a pleasure having you both in class today, and we've looked at quite a few personal things about what makes you cry and what situations you found made you cry. So thank you for sharing them with us. We also looked at what happens after you cry, because that is also interesting. Who helps you, if anyone? And what happens? Do you calm down? Do you feel better? Do you achieve what you want to achieve? Do you get what you want to get? So that's all very good there as well. So thank you for sharing that. And we
Thank you.
finished. Thank you very much. And we finished off with just a few things that I wanted to share with you myself. But thank you very much, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
Thank you.